Hello everybody, I am the Hammond Collector, and today we will be ranking the entire Hammond Collection toy line, so let's get straight into it. The first category on this tier list would be horrible, which only one figure falls under, the Gallimimus. This figure is a proportion nightmare, and overall it just doesn't look good. I think its oversized feet is definitely a big problem, along with its hands, which have no reason to be oversized, and the head sculpt just doesn't look good. Our next category is bad, which 4 figures fall under. The worst in this category would just have to be Blue. She has very oversized feet and hands, and the bendy wire tail can barely even bend, and the glass eyes on this figure just don't look good. The next 2 figures on the bad list would be also Velociraptors, so as you can tell, I have a problem with the Velociraptors in this line. And since I've already ranted about the Velociraptors, we're gonna skip these 2 figures, and we're gonna move on to the best figure in the bad category, which, yes, it's still bad, but we have the Buck T-Rex. I don't like this figure because of the situation around it, and also the figure just isn't that good. It looks very childish, and also just isn't accurate to the movies, and it just leaves a bad taste in my mouth. We are now moving on to the mid category. The first dinosaur in the mid category would have to be this baby Triceratops, which, to be honest, it isn't that bad, but I don't like the sculpt. It looks like it has a very elongated snout, and it just doesn't look good. Next up in the mid category, we have the Pachycephalosaurus, which does look good, but it's really the jaw joint and the paint job that just bring this figure down for me. Next up, we have the male and female JP3 raptors. They're good. They're better than the normal raptors, but they also don't look that good. And now we have the Jurassic Park Lost World raptor, which this figure is not very good. It has a very big underbite, and it just doesn't have a good paint job, and overall this figure isn't good. Next up, we have the Concavinator, which is a great and unique species, but its oversized feet and hands bring this figure down for me. Next up, we have one of the newer species, which I gotta say, this figure does look good, but I'm not a fan of the smaller $14 ones. Some of them are good, like the Stiggy Moloch, but other ones are pretty bad, like this one. Next up, we have the Para, which is the definition of mid. It has some bad and good parts, and they all come together to make this mid figure. Moving on to the Troodon, which I think looks great. I love the design on this thing, and it just is an awesome action figure. Next up, we have the T-Rex, which is the first big theropod they did, and you can tell. It has a bunch of loose joints, and it just isn't made very well, and over time, this figure just becomes poor quality, and it's just not very good. Next up, we have the Triceratops, which I think is pretty good, but this is one of the first figures, and you can tell. It definitely isn't as premium as the other ones feel, and it just isn't that great, so it's just mid. But now moving on to the Brachiosaurus, this figure is alright, and also the bendy wire neck is sorta cursed. Now moving on to the Ceratosaurus, which I think it had some very good potential, but the big cartoony teeth is where this figure loses everything it had. The teeth just completely ruin this figure, and the Baryonyx looks pretty great, but it also has the same teeth problem. The best figure in the mid category would be the Sinoceratops. I think this figure is pretty good, but the reason why it's mid is because it's lacking paint and the glass eyes. We are now moving on to the good category, which starts off with the baby Stegosaurus, which I think is good. It has a good paint job, some good posability, and it's just awesome. Now moving on to the Dilo, which I think is very good. I really like the paint job on this figure, and yeah, but now we have the Stiggy Moloch, which is great. I love this figure so much. The amount of detail on it is insane, and it has some decent posability. Next up, we have the Atrociraptor, which is easily the best scaled raptor in the Hammond collection, but there is an even better raptor, the Pyroraptor. This figure is great because of the awesome feathers it has. But now moving on to not actually a dinosaur, we have the Dimetrodon, which I think looks great. Next up, we have the Corythosaurus. The detail and posability on this thing is just very good. But now moving on to the Therizinosaurus, I think this figure is good, but I do wish it had the blind eyes like the Troodon. Moving on to the Stegosaurus, I think this figure is great. It has some balancing issues though. Next up, we have another one of the newer ones, which I think it looks pretty good. I think it is just a very unique mini dinosaur, and that's why it made it in the good category. But now let's talk about the Metrocanthosaurus. I love this figure. The detail on it is great, same with the paint job. Next up, we have this pterosaur. I'm not too familiar with this species, but I think it looks pretty good in figure form, and I think it's very good. Next up, we have the Irritator, which I think this figure is awesome. I love it so much, especially for a medium carnivore species. This is really great. But speaking of medium carnivores, now we have the Carnotaurus, which I think is great, and it is one of the figures that got me into the Hammond collection again. So it just has a special place in my heart. We are now moving on to the great category, which the first species in this category is the Scutosaurus. I think this figure is great, and I just love it. Next up, we have the Spinosaurus, which is great, but the Hammond collection Giganotosaurus is better. I think it just looks better and it has better articulation, but with that, we are now going on to the final category, titled The Best. There are only 2 figures in this category, and one of which is Allosaurus. This figure is seriously the second best figure in the Hammond collection. It is just great, from articulation to paint job to detail. This figure is just out of this world. But the best figure in all of the Hammond collection is the Ankylosaurus. Some of you guys might be surprised, but I think this figure is just great and I love it. Well, that concludes the ranking of the Hammond collection. If you're curious what the tier list would look like, here you go. This is what it looks like. And if you agree with me, that's cool, and if you don't, that's fine. But one thing that isn't fine is if you click off this video and you enjoyed it and you don't leave a like or subscribe or hype this video. Please do.